Welcome, my freaky friends, you weirdos of the web and subscribers to the strange. Ben, part time demon hunter, part time YouTuber here, broadcasting to you live with Luke.
Yes, and on tonight's Big Finish fans, we'll be talking all things The First Doctor Adventures, The Demon Song, starring Stephen Noonan and Lauren Cornelius.
Along with that, we'll be also having a look back at their first box set together, The Outlaws, answering your questions and having a general chit chat, and of course, taking a look at this week's Big Finish news.
Which includes some more exciting details about Once and Future.
Indeed, it does. But first, how have you been? What have you been up to, Luke?
Oh, just the usual, really. Watching
Good.
some Doctor Who, watching some Mandalorian. Oh, that started
Oh,
up
yeah,
again.
that's back.
Watching some The Bad Batch, as that's still ongoing. Along with Last of Us still as well. That's nearing its end now, sadly. But yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks left of it.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tonight/tomorrow. The next one's on, isn't it? So
Yeah.
God. Not ready for it to end, to be honest. But yeah,
I'm way behind. I'm like 2 episodes behind.
Really?
So I've not. Yeah,
You've
just
got
not had a
trauma to
chance.
come.
I've got trauma to come, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
It's something special, really is.
Yeah, good old Pedro.
But it started on Ice Heist from the recent Fourth Doctor Adventures set. That's off to a good start. Well, it was off to a shaky start with the first part, but I think I got into it around about halfway through the second, and it turned out to be a all right little story, Ice Heist.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done like the first 10 minutes of it. I've been diving into the 11th Doctor Chronicles.
I saw you out on Twitter giving some praise to All of Time and Space.
Yeah. My goodness. It's such a good box set. Such a good set. I think I prefer it to Geronimo.
That's a good sign.
I think these are sort of 3 real strong stories, and they sort of are experimental, and they feel very of the era, feel very Moffat-y, especially the first story, because you're like, Ellery Quest, I look forward to hearing more stories from that person, you know. I don't want to spoil it, because that's the one you can really spoil very easily.
I see. I know that character is in the story as well.
Yeah.
But they're credited as part of the cast, so
Yeah.
That should be an interesting one, because you did persuade me in the end to buy Geronimo while it was on sale.
So we can tier list it.
Yeah, so we can do a tier list when they're all out. Partially down to those Paradigm Daleks being in the trailer, so hopefully they don't let us down and that they do turn up in a future box set.
It'd be lovely to have that.
But yeah, so I've not quite listened to it just yet, because there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot coming out.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even started on Return of Joe Jones yet either.
I have started on that.
How far are you through?
I've done part 1 of Supernature.
That's the first story, isn't it?
First story, yeah.
Just scratching the surface there, then.
Yeah, getting a taste of what it's trying to do.
Promising start, or?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think it's up to the same level as last year's Third Doctor stuff, but that was incredible. But again, it's only part 1 of, 3 stories.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was almost an exceptional level, wasn't it, last year? For the Doctor. So even if it's a bit of a step down, it's still far
very
above
high.
Quite a lot of other ranges. So yeah, nothing too wrong there. I've also watched 3 concurrent Doctor Who stories, new series episodes.
Okay.
Not like not a 3-parter, no 2-parters in there or anything. One's
just
2
random.
of which, so they're all in order. I just started with one of them and randomly decided to carry on. The first 2 of which I've not seen since broadcast. I think I'm just going to throw it at you, throw you in the deep end. Any guesses as to what these are?
I feel like it might be a Capaldi.
It's Moffat, but not Capaldi.
It is Moffat.
It's 11.
So it's Smith.
Yeah.
I would say probably like series 7.
Yep. Bang on.
Okay, so would it be like Asylum of the Daleks and?
Very close.
Okay.
I started unconventional. I went for A Town Called Mercy first.
Okay.
Just I don't really know why. I was just randomly in the.
I mean, really good story.
Yeah, I was sort of in the mood for something new series, but I'd done a lot of Tenant recently, so I thought, I'll steer clear of the RTD stuff. I'll have a look at some of that. Also with Geronimo and such, I was sort of in the mood to watch some 11th Doctor. And so I just went Town Called Mercy, carried on to Power of Three, and then thought, might as well polish this little run off with Angels Take Manhattan as well, which I had seen again since broadcast. But yeah, those first two I'd not touched since they first went out.
Interesting.
I mean, it's rather bizarre how little Kate is in Power of Three.
Yeah.
Like, she shows up at the start while Rory's in his underwear, and then is missing for pretty much the whole of the second act, probably.
I guess that's down to like the amount of rewrites that script had.
Yeah, I think it went through a lot of turmoil, didn't it? Especially with the actor at the end as the main villain.
Yeah, of like the Shakri. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly comes to an awkward end, but I think it is very entertaining up until then.
I think it'd make a great Target book.
I mean, Chris Chibnall has said he wants to write a Target book, hasn't he? He's just not been approached yet, so.
Be interesting to see which one he does. Right. Yeah, be interesting.
Yeah. But I think that he feels like he's at his best when he's writing for characters who aren't his own.
Yeah.
Because I believe Moffat said he didn't really involve himself much with Chris Chibnall's scripts, did he? Just let him get on with it. He was one of the few writers he didn't really edit much for. So, yeah, you can see a lot of where the Chibnall era is going to end up going within it. Like, in terms of some undercooked villains, I suppose. But then, there's a lot of fun to be had in that one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and I think it's also the perfect like pre-companion leaving story, in the sense that it's about them choosing between whether they want their normal lives or whether they want to stay with the Doctor, and then of course that decision comes round and bites them in the arse the next episode. Yeah, that's it. How about you? What have you been up to?
I mean, it was my birthday. It was my silver nemesis.
You've joined me.
I've joined you for a few months, and then you're leaving the club. So
I'm off to become a Battlefield.
You're off to become season 26. You're going to be cancelled.
Yeah, I'm going to be. We're going to take a few years off, come back for a one-off, and then
for one night only.
Yeah, and then on my 42nd, I'll be back in force.
Yeah, RTD will revive you. And you'll be fine. Yeah, much like you, listening to a fair bit of Big Finish, really. Of course, Mandalorian's been good. Yeah, that's mainly been me preparing for tomorrow, which is an exciting day because I'm in a cinema. Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, the film.
Your short film.
Yeah, the short film. That's tomorrow being shown in a cinema in Manchester. So we're all getting together and watching it. So it's going to be a nice little evening. That.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
It is very
exciting.
Get the
popcorn ready.
Get the popcorn ready. Go look. It's my ugly mug on the big screen.
I'm sure you'll get your fangirls.
Oh yeah, I'll have Mel cheering. I'll be like, yeah, that's great. He's like, woo. Yeah, so that's all very exciting. So that's mainly been me really working, getting ready for that, and
that's good.
Bringing in the age of 25 in.
Yeah, sort of existential crisis time, I suppose.
Yeah, like I'm halfway to 50. That's mental.
Don't
like
halfway
that
to your day of the Doctor.
Halfway, yeah. I've had my 5 doctors. It's got to be Day of the Doctor next. Or Dimension Time next, really. Crikey.
Oh, that's going to be a wacky one.
Oh yeah, get the 3D glasses ready and floating heads. So yeah, should we say hello to people in the chat?
Yeah, let's go take a look at what people are saying. I know we had a couple of messages before we even started here. Dragonbug saying, don't think I'll be able to make it to the stream today because I've got my own scheduled streaming stuff today. Hope it's going well, Dragonbugs. If you're out there, I might be able to make it towards the end. So thank you for the March stream schedule. Yes, we popped that up, don't we, today? Or you popped that. I sent it over to you and you popped it up.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, make this. And then you're like, yeah, sure, no problem. But yeah, I think this is something we want to do going forward. So you lovely people can know what we have planned and I've got cooking, really. I'll try and load it up.
It's over on the community tab now on your Twitter, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's on the community tab. But I'll just load it up here. So if you aren't aware of the schedule for March, you can now.
Here we go. Here it is.
There we are. So tonight we're talking about the Demon Song and the Outlaws and tier listing. So got quite a sort of jam-packed one really tonight.
Yeah, quite a few to get to. But yeah, I mean, it was going to be Wednesday, wasn't it? But we had to delay it. So sorry for those who were expecting us Wednesday.
But we're here now.
And hopefully these next 4 will go ahead as scheduled.
The only one what's has a massive question mark is season 9.
Yeah, that's out of our control.
That's out of our control. If it's delayed, it's not our fault.
Yeah, we can't really talk about if it's not out.
Yeah.
But I mean, fingers crossed, we're just over 2 weeks out from the date. So hopefully if they were going to delay it, they would have done so by now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's out because I want to enjoy my Sea Devils because I know it was the BFI screening yesterday, which I would have loved to have gone, but these events sell out very quickly.
Do they go up while you're at work usually, or is it just a case of you see it and they're gone in about 2 minutes?
I think they release it to members and like the members all snag them up, and there's like 5 tickets left for like general sale. So it'd be nice if these events were sort of more nationwide. That'd be great. So I'd love to see Pertwee on the big screen.
Do they have anything like that scheduled for Spearhead Live? Like any Pert?
I don't think so.
I suppose it depends on the facilities, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
But you'd think of it being like an old, because it was a BBC owned place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you think they'd have facilities within there to?
I mean, that'd be great.
Screen stuff.
Watching Spearhead there, be like, wow, I'm there. I think that would hit differently.
I think also the fact that it's Spearhead, it was shot on film. That would look brilliant. Amazing. On the big screen. But yeah, I think it's just a novelty seeing Classic Who on a big screen, really. Yeah, and they got a preview of the trailer, didn't they, as well?
Yes, I did.
So that's exciting things to look forward to. But speaking of things to look forward to, what are we doing next Friday?
Next Friday, we're talking about bits of plastic shaped like Doctor Who characters. We're talking about all things action figures. So that'd be nice. So we can talk about the Doctor Who figure range, past, present, future, and I guess compare it to other ranges that we collect, Black Series.
Yeah.
And just sort of look at the state of that industry, really, and how character can evolve. And take note from other lines.
And also just talk about how much we love said other lines.
Black Series.
I mean, you got a couple of those for your birthday, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a couple for my birthday. I got the Maldo Kreese Mandalorian and a 501st Clone Trooper, which is very cool.
How is the Clone Trooper? Because that's a bit of an older one, isn't it? Mold-wise.
Oh, it definitely feels like a toy. It's amazing that like this is spoiler for next stream, but the engineering on like the Mandalorian compared to this clone trooper, it's night and day. Just it's amazing how far Hasbro have taken that line.
Yeah, and I think in quite a short space of time as well.
Oh, literally, I think ever since like the Galaxy packaging, I'd say.
Yeah, like 2019, 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. That's when sort of Black Series become an incredible range.
It's funny hearing all the complaints from the Black Series fans. I suppose it's like once you're in,
yeah,
you're not happy with anything. It's the same with us in Doctor Who a lot of the time. Like,
yeah,
we'll be getting good stuff and we'll still be complaining. So, but yeah.
I just find it funny because like Doctor Who figures, people complain about like the amount of repaints and stuff Hasbro do. But I'm like, us Doctor Who fans will take anything at this point. So it's really just
figures.
Yeah, just happy to get figures at this point. But yeah, very different things.
But yeah, I suppose because your channel is pretty much like half, I'd say, Big Finish Doctor Who TV stuff, and then half action figure.
Yeah,
like so you're always getting your reviews out when the wave comes along and such. And I think there's quite a big audience for that as well, isn't there? But we don't really cater to that side of your audience on screen on stream so much. So
I think because like the figures are sort of very few and far between.
There's only so much you can say.
Yeah, there's only so much you can say a year on them and go, this is the B&M wave. Let's just talk about that. And then that's all you can really do. Like you can't really live stream a figure review. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be very good.
No. I think there's only so much discussion you can get out of both of us sat here playing with an action figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be next week's fun to look forward to there. I think just be good to get a general chat out of the way of action figures.
Yeah.
No more of that now. Saving it for next week. Week after that, Jo Jones returns.
Good grief.
Yeah. I'll have to get listening to that before then. Yeah. And then, that one speaks for itself, really. We are going to be reviewing the return of Jo Jones box set, the Third Doctor Adventures. And hopefully, if season 9's not delayed, that will sort of time with that, because we'll be reviewing that on the Friday, and then more Third Doctor will come out on the Monday.
Yeah, and hopefully there'll be a few season 9 related videos on the channel coming soon.
And after that, we've got a Fifth Doctor monthly range throwback, reviewing the trilogy that includes the Waters of Amsterdam, Aquitaine, and the Peterloo Massacre.
Yeah, that's one thing we wanted to do for a while. We wanted to look at this trilogy, and we want to give the Fifth Doctor some love, because I think he's a Doctor on Big Finish people kind of overlook, and we want to put a spotlight going, you need to check out these stories.
And I think that's also timed to lead up to the Conflicts of Interest box set, which also stars the Fifth Doctor, Nyssa and Tegan. So it's good to look back before we get the next box set. And finally, like we say, season 9, fingers crossed it meets its day, and we'll be talking to that with you at the end of the month.
Yeah, so we've got quite a nice variety of things to look forward to in the month of March.
But anyway, back to the chat, because we started, and then
we started.
Dragon Bugs went and mentioned the stream schedule, so of course we had to throw it up for you all.
There.
But Stephen Noonan is here in the chat, or was in the chat earlier, saying, I shan't be around, although I'd love to be this evening, lads, unless you go on beyond 9:30.
We probably will.
I think we will. We've started a little bit late. These things usually go on 2 hours and a bit. So hopefully Stephen will be able to pop in for a little bit at the end. Very much looking forward to hearing your views, as always. Also, still have to finish your excellent Kaleidoscope.
Do.
I can't remember. Do. I'd sort of do Kaleidoscope in my head to remember how the do goes. I was like, shit, how do you do the do?
You need to focus.
Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do.
Do.
Anyway, we'll also comment when I have in it. Stephen Noonan's getting down with our young speak there. Doing it better than me, to be honest.
Hey, he's travelled to a post-pandemic world as the first Doctor, so he's getting down. He knows what Face ID is now. The first Doctor, amazing.
He knows how to cheat the system of the London Underground.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. But that's in a minute when we talk about Demon Song.
Stephen Noonan's doing an amazing job. He is, of course, working actor, voicing the first Doctor. He's not going off to conventions. He's going to meet people after the BFI screening, and he's watching through our streams and videos and leaving lovely detailed comments on them and putting me to shame because I still haven't got round to replying to a couple of them. I'm very sorry, Stephen.
We appreciate it, really. You know, it's nice.
We really do.
Really good, really nice.
Yeah, that'll be something I need to get around to soon. Yes, first, Ali Servant says, I just bought this. It's extremely good. The guy who does Hartnell is uncanny. Yes, that guy has commented just above you, funnily enough.
Yeah.
He does a wonderful job as William Hartnell. Hi, guys, says Daniel Hager. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Hope you are here because I'm currently reading chats are still from before we went live because we were a bit delayed. Technical issues abound. We had delays within a delay, didn't we?
Yeah, we had lag and and glitches. So. We're here.
Yeah, Ali's also asked, is this still going ahead? Yes, we're here now. I hope
we're
back
live.
around for us to go live.
We're live.
Very sorry. Trevor Hicks, hope they won't be up too late, up early for work tomorrow.
We'll be quick. We'll try and be quick.
Hi, sorry I'm busy, so can't come to this stream. I intend to watch back though. Happy birthday, Ben, and keep up the amazing work, you two.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can't join a stylish one, but hopefully you enjoy this on a rewatch. And you've also got a couple more comments here, which I'll get to in a sec, but I think Ben just wanted to say something.
Just hello, lurkers, as well. If you're not in the chat, hello, lurkers. We appreciate you being here too.
Also, have your feelings towards season 3 of Classic Who changed as a result of these box sets? As I know you two initially were wary, as you're very much bigger fans of season 1 and 2, unlike me, who isn't a big fan of season 1, haven't watched much of season 2. I love season 3, so these sets appeal to me a lot more than David Bradley box sets, so it's a little appeal to me as someone who just doesn't enjoy the incredibly slow-paced, poor production values and weird storytelling in season 1, while season 3 is bursting at the seams with amazing stories and great pacing and performance. I'll let you answer that first.
I would say I was wary by sort of season 3 stories. I think there was untapped potential there.
I think it was more me that might have declared my somewhat wariness towards it.
But I think these box sets still honor season 3's creativity, but they're doing it in a different way.
Yeah, season 3 is a hard one to pin down, really, because it goes through several different creators, doesn't it? Like, you've got 3 different producers across the course of it. And so it's not really easy to define as one distinct vision. Whereas season 1 and 2, do you have that much more? I think there's just something magical about the very beginning, isn't there? This untapped worlds and sort of exploring that for the first time along with the characters, where the show doesn't quite know what it's going to be yet.
I think it's still got that element in season 3. It's still going, what can we do? And I just want to highlight the comment, weird storytelling. I think that just shows the creative ambition, because I think the ambitions there with Keys and Marinus, the chase, and then from those 2 stories you get the Daleks master plan. So without those 2 stories, you wouldn't have the mother of all Hartnell Daleks master plan. So I think you needed the show to sort of find its feet in these sort of quest adventure stories to get the mammoth epic stories,
Yeah. Joe Bowers says, hi guys. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Slatchman also said, "Oh, and Rufus Hound, what a birthday treat for you, Ben. He's a key villain in the 60th. The monk fans are celebrating. We could be getting double the number of meddling monks this year with 11th Doctor Chronicles."
Yeah, we could. I
Ah.
mean, it was a nice bit of news for my birthday, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
The two covers.
What's this 11th Doctor Chronicles tease, by the way? I've not seen anything about it.
I'll let you discover it. You know?
Okay. That's something for me to look forward to.
I'm not here to ruin it for you.
I wasn't sure if that was something like leaked on someone's spotlight or something again.
There's been. I'd just say that there's sort of been
developments.
Yeah, there's points in stories where you're thinking, what's going on?
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to dive into Dromo. I'll probably pick up All of Time and Space when the robots drops.
Yeah.
So I'll get like that Worlds of what's it called? 8th of March and All of Time and Space together. Ben Miller says, which monster plus villain from Doctor Who's Rival would you like the first Doctor to take on? So classic Doctor, new monster.
With the first Doctor?
Yeah, what would work? Like, was it the Vashta Narada, Stephen himself?
Yeah, Vashta Narada would be great.
Maybe the Ood.
The Ood would be cool. Because they're like Sensorites. You could have Sensorites and Ood. That'd be cool.
I think it'd be wonderful to see like a mock-up of a classic Ood. Like with the Sensorite style makeup, but obviously
that'd be lovely.
Oudified. A new word.
Oudified. I like it. It's got a nice ring to it.
I mean, the main baddie in Planet of the Ood got Oudified.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Holtman.
Yeah.
So this one also said Series 7 is a brilliant series, one of my all-time favourites. So many spectacular episodes, great characters, and wonderful pace and style with the fairy tale yet blockbuster style. Also nice that they actually made the Ponds look 10 years older in season 7 than they looked in series 5. If you see comparisons, they do look different. Did you notice the flickering lights recurring, Fred? By that I mean the fact that every season 7 episode from episode 1 to 7 featured a flickering light, which was meant to be a hint at the great intelligence, but was doodoos by hoodooed by Moffat and kept that scene in the snowman. Ben wakes up on his 30th birthday, turns to Mel and says, "Madam, what year is this?"
2013.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
2028 that'll be.
Crikey.
Let's not think ahead to that.
Yeah, let's not question that.
Funnily enough, it's my birthday yesterday where I met Sacha Dhawan at Liverpool, London Film and Comic Con. Okay. Then went to the BFI afterwards, where I met John Dorney in the bar. Stephen Noonan and Daisy Ashford were there as well. Wow, that
what
was
a brilliant
birthday!
Happy birthday, Joe, for yesterday. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good day. I mean, it sounds like
Doctor Who story have you become now?
I think that's a good way of sort of revealing your age, and people are like, "Oh, I know how old you are now because of that."
It's Doctor Who code.
Yeah, it's Doctor Who code going, Christ, he's old.
Christ, he's in his wilderness years.
I mean, yeah, it's a wild time.
I mean, well, unfortunately for some, it's in the future, so it's only for like people who were born after 63.
Yeah.
There was that Kaleidoscope announcement about an upcoming Who events about some potentially recovered lost Who media. Yes, there was.
I mean, it would make sense.
Do style of Kaleidoscope. Apparently, they're waiting for that to be cleared by the BBC, aren't they?
So could that be like the animations?
But they usually do their own events for that sort of thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's
Pretty
like
much
just a recovered clip of some kind. 'Cause I feel like
yeah.
full episode would be the BBC themselves again. But telesnaps, maybe? I don't know. But would they do a whole event for telesnaps? Who knows?
Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Have you seen Dino Puff's animation of the Celestial Toy Maker? Asked Ben Miller.
I've seen a bit of it. I've just not sat down and watched the whole thing. Very good. Very
It's
nice
impressive from
style.
what I've seen, but yeah, I've not. I've just sort of seen the preview that was on Josh Snare's channel. It's great to have more Tom Baker with Sarah Jane this May with Unit. I'm going to pre-order this very soon, says Daniel Hager. And Joe Bowers says, Trial of a Time Lord is.
Ah.
There we have it.
Not quite the Knackers yard yet.
Nah. Yeah, I suppose. Would season 24 count as a midlife crisis?
I mean, for me, 24 felt like a midlife crisis.
Oh dear.
I mean, that's a feature video in itself, but yeah.
Shall we take a look at the news?
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the news, and then we'll get on to the main review, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying the last few weeks, it's been a bit dead for these this week, but things have changed.
A bit tumbleweedy, but now we're kind of getting drips and drabs of upcoming things.
Yeah. Well, so that's where should we kick off with Sixth Doctor and Mel to the rescue? I think that's the first one that came along. I don't know, it feels like that was ages ago now because we had quite a bit of big news since then.
Purity Unleashed details. Same photo as Ruth Madeley.
Yeah, it's become a meme at this point, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think at least here it's used differently.
Yeah.
With half her face in it and such.
Yeah.
And
she's definitely milking that headshot. She's like, hey, I'll give you that one photo. There you go. Enjoy my headshot.
Yeah, it's on 2.5 covers, I suppose, technically, since it's only half a face. But yeah, I mean, what do you make of the details we got for these stories?
I have to say, I'm actually quite excited.
I think the Sixth Doctor suit's going into history, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a very much a historical Doctor for me.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to these. And I think it's nice how it seems to be almost alternative history, doesn't it? As times have changed thanks to the intervention of a certain character. So yeah, I'm sure the Matthew Sweet one will be all kinds of mad.
Oh yeah, be out there. Matthew Sweet's a writer that is definitely. It's sort of an acquired taste. Like you either get what he's going for or you don't. And I like most of his stuff that he's done from what I've listened to.
I think you can at least be assured that it's going to be creative.
Yes. And I think that's a big positive.
Yeah, certainly from the synopsis, this gives those vibes. And then Chris Chapman, we love Chris Chapman with the Sixth Doctor.
We love him.
Heading to New Zealand in 1910. It's nice how these are sort of going back in time with each one as they trace the source of how history has changed, what has unwritten Hebe out of existence. But yeah, I suppose it's just going to be a case of how they handle it all, really. Because I think, potentially it is a bit awkward for them turning Hebe into a victim and having Mel and the Doctor have to rescue her or bring her back. Because that seems a bit going against what they were going for by introducing a character in the first place. But yeah, it's all going to be down to how it's executed, how it's done. But nevertheless, I'm looking forward to getting a bit more history of the Sixth Doctor.
Yeah. It feels like a thing Big Finish don't do that often. So when you do get it, it feels quite special.
Yeah. And I think certainly that's where his best stories are often to be found. Like the
Flight of the Pimpernel.
Flight of the Pimpernel. That's a brilliant one. A fairly recent one. Again by Chris Chapman. So yeah, there's a good track record there. Wow.
Yeah, is that all we can say so far?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cautiously optimistic for that set. Yeah, and then we got our wish for more
Surprise!
Fifth Doctor content, but not quite the Fifth Doctor content we were asking for.
Yeah, another audio novel has been, and details have been announced for it. After him, Matthew Waterhouse writing The Watchers, he's now writing a Fifth Doctor one.
Yeah, which I mean, I haven't picked up The Watchers personally. If it's the, did you get it in the end? I know you were debating because it's the only one you're missing, isn't that?
Yeah, it's the only one I haven't got out of the ones that have been released so far.
Yeah.
I might pick it up if it's on sale when this one goes out, because I think they probably will put it on sale.
Yeah. Will you get this one as well?
I think maybe eventually, if I've got a bit of a Fifth Doctor itch, it might satisfy that itch.
Yeah, it's just that thing of, do I want to spend a weekend with Waterhouse?
Literally. Yeah.
I'm not sure about him as an audiobook reader.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing, really, with these audio novels is the reader. Like, if you have somebody like John Coleshaw, you've got a full cast story, haven't you? Really,
pretty much.
So you're in safe hands, and you know that there's going to be different voices for the characters, so you don't get lost with that sort of one tone, as it were.
Yeah. Whereas, I'm just not sure about this one. Although the story details do look quite intriguing.
It sort of reminds me of like the Contingency Club in a way.
Yeah, I suppose it sort of gives off those vibes. Yeah, it's another alternative history take, funnily enough. We've got 2 announcements of such things in 1 week.
Maybe this is the year of alternative histories, with what they're doing with their 60th releases.
Yeah, it could be all tying together. I swear, anything more to say?
Not really.
No.
I guess it's sort of the big news of shiny thing.
Do we want to save that for last, or?
Yeah, we can save that till last.
Yeah, because we did get a trailer for Strange Chemistry.
Yes, we did.
Which quite heavily features Tom Baker, and I think Leela gets about 1 line in it, which seems counterintuitive to the point of the set.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out how big a role Leela actually has in the story in 3 days.
Yeah, it's not that long away. They did put a preview out on the podcast, and it does feature the usual, or well, not quite usual because it wasn't in the first set, but the same theme that they used in the second 8th of March set, rather than just the Fourth Doctor theme, because it very much seems like it's just a Fourth Doctor adventure retrofitted into a different box set.
Yeah.
But we shall see how that one goes. I think I'm looking forward to it based on the story details, and it wasn't a bad trailer. But yeah, I'm just not sure if it's going to be quite a Doctor Light story.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm not complaining about, because we love our Fourth Doctor, but at the same time, it's like, if this is the 8th of March and this is meant to be more of a Leela story, then how much of that is actually going to come across? Or is it, maybe it's just more down to the fact that it's written by Louise Jameson that makes it celebrating International Women's Day. And you got Madame Curie in there as well.
Yeah. Be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. And did you see the Doctor Who in the Ark updated cover?
No.
Have it. Go to the Lost Stories tab and you shall see they've made some changes.
Is it?
I don't know why they haven't quite announced it. They've sort of snuck it out a bit.
Go on the Fourth Doctor page.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh.
They've sort of removed all the Ark in space stuff from it.
Yeah, they have. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, sort of baffled me at first anyway, because we knew it was a completely different
Have they
story.
used Strax? That looks like Strax.
I saw someone else say, "Is that Dan Starkey?"
Does look like Dan Starkey.
I also saw someone point out the Dan Dare alien.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Yeah, and you've also got a couple of other details swapped out, like the hand of Terry Malloy there is an actual hand, not bubble wrap, and then the puffball down at the bottom
Yeah, I
rather
actually see
than the
those.
slug thing. But I mean, this is sort of more what I was expecting originally,
Yeah.
because from what we knew, it was a very different style. But yeah, it just seems, why did you come out with the Wirren cover in the first place? Well, is the question now, because it almost feels like false advertising to get people on board, and then sneakily go, "Aha, this is what actually." Especially because they've not officially come out and said anything about this. Like, it's not up on social media.
No, but you'd want them to go, aha, this is different from the Ark in Space, so you're getting an alternative version of it?
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean, I'm happy about, because
Yeah.
it's nice getting something that's drastically different, so you could see the point of them releasing it.
It's a reason to double dip, isn't it? To see that alternative timeline.
Yeah, and supposedly it is very different and very out there in a lot of ways. So, I mean, they've also changed it from Doctor Who and the Ark to just Doctor Who the Ark, which is a bit awkward, because that's also a Stephen Dodo and First Doctor story.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they've used Invasion before and Inferno, so it's fine.
Yeah, I suppose it's also a story that has 4 individual titles, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So is this going to be a case of like the mutants and the Daleks?
Yeah, and the Dead Planet and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. And ultimately, I mean, Doctor Who has stolen titles from Big Finish as well, like World Enough and Time. So yeah, I'm sure it's not too big a deal, but it was just something quirky about it being Doctor Who and the Ark.
Yeah. It feels like a Target book.
Yeah, it gave it just that little bit more of a distinction. And with the other story in this pair, with the Daleks Genesis of Terror, like, that's a bit of a unusual title as well. That almost feels like a comic book title, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a Dalek annual.
Yeah. And with how that release is done, with it just being part 1 and then synopsises for the rest of the parts, it just gave these a bit more of an out there feel. And I mean, they've still definitely got that in abundance, but yeah, it was just it was a cherry on top, calling it Doctor Who in the Ark. But it's not something that I'm gonna get hung up on.
Yeah, still gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's just an odd choice to do that first and then come along and change their minds. But yeah, I wonder if they'll maybe officially talk about that next week or something, or if this is just how it is. They've just snuck this out and that's going to be it.
I imagine they'll get a little updated cover art.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Was there any other bits of news other than the big one?
I think we've just got to go on to the big news at this point.
Yeah, let's go for it. We were right with our Tom Baker guess.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, if you saw our speculation video and talking about the initial announcement of like the guest characters, we predicted this.
Yeah. Also, like, none of, other than Sarah Jane, none of the other 3 were included in that original announcement. I suppose because they knew this was coming very shortly after, they thought they'd save it. Yeah, so it's nice now that we have this, that it now opens up the speculation more going forward.
Yeah, it does make you wonder who else is yet to be announced.
Yeah. I think also just in terms of combos of doctors and supporting characters coming along as well, you can now have a bit more of a guess there. But yeah, so it seems the structure of this is going to be 1 doctor per story. Like I said, even on the page itself, I don't know if they've updated this sort of material all along, but it says, for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, Big Finish is producing Doctor Who Once and Future, a special series of monthly full-cast audio dramas, each focusing on one of the Doctors. So yeah, we know 4th Doctor's first up. And so hopefully David Tennant's getting a whole one to himself, and same with Christopher Eccleston.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, what do you make? Just cover art, looking at it, what do you think?
It just feels really lovely seeing the Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane on a cover together again.
I did say about how I wanted different combinations. We're getting that in this as well, with it being Kate and Osgood with the Fourth Doctor. That's something new. But with Sarah, I feel like we have hardly got any of her with the Fourth Doctor, so it still feels special enough.
And it's after the Hand Affair as well.
Yeah, it is. And it seems like the monk might be bringing her to the future to help with something. So has he kidnapped her, or has he tricked her into coming along?
Yeah, thinking, I'm the Doctor, Sarah.
It wouldn't be the first time.
That's true. That's true.
Or could he just be like, I'm a friend of the Doctor's. Do you want to come meet him with me?
Yeah, and I'll actually take you to Croydon.
Yeah, maybe that's how she got back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in a nice little costume there as well.
Yeah, very nice costume.
And speaking of costumes, we've now got Osgood in a sort of Fifth Doctor coat and Second Doctor shirt and bow tie.
Yeah, feels. I mean, that's a nice little wink and nod, isn't it, to the Doctor's past in an anniversary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Don't know what to make of these upright crocodiles, but they look like an interesting little villain.
I mean, they look cool. I like it. I'm here for it.
It sort of always gives me Terror of the Zygon vibes, with it being Unit there and the Fourth Doctor, but obviously it's a more modern Unit pairing it up with it.
It's a story I feel like I can visualize already.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so beautiful about this cover. It gives you a window into that story, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is what covers should do, really.
I mean, we've also got the Fourth Doctor in his original clothes.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like with the 14th Doctor regeneration, where the clothes change as the Doctor flicks through his different lives? Or is this, has the Doctor run to his wardrobe after he's settled in his fourth incarnation and got his old clothes back on? Or is this just one of those times where the cover is slightly off when it comes to that sort of thing?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see for when the story actually arrives.
Yeah. So I suppose in terms of iconography as well, you sort of want, especially for a 60th, you want him in his original outfit. It adds a lot.
Well, it still comes up now, doesn't it? When a new Doctor gets a costume, it's like, is he going to have a scarf? Are they going to have a scarf?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there was that whole hoo-ha when Jodie had the scarf for just the Resolution promos. But I mean, this isn't the only bit of cover art we've got, though, is it?
Yeah, this is the standard edition. Because there is a limited version, if I can find it. Or collector's edition, they've called it.
Yeah.
Where is it? Have we got it? I've just got on the What's New page. I'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Next month. So if we go to May, there we go. The limited edition.
Something very not quite what I was expecting.
And
I was a bit thrown at first because I kind of prefer the standard edition covers, but I'm definitely going to be picking up the limited because more special features and stuff. But you know what? It's grown on me.
It feels like a throwback to like early Big Finish, and I think a lot of people said it's Unbound.
Yeah, with two characters on there, like one either side and almost half the face there. It definitely gives off that vibe. And I mean, I can't wait until the 9th Doctor David Warner one comes along, because surely you're going to have David Warner one side and Christopher Eccleston the other.
Yeah.
And that's going to look incredible. But yeah, it's a very nice little image. And I think what works is that because you're getting both standard and limited covers, you get this nice special cover that feels quite prestige and high quality, but you're also getting a window into the story with the standard cover. And I think, that sort of was one of our complaints, I suppose, with the Outlaws and the Beyond War Games covers, was that the image quality wasn't bad at all. It was a wonderful image that they put together for those covers. But it's just there wasn't much of a window into the story with those. And that's just our personal preference when it comes to covers, I suppose.
Yeah, because sometimes you need like a full cover to help visualize a story, and it just helps you get more immersed, I feel, by having those little details.
Yeah, it just kickstarts the imagination, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gives you a idea of the story's visual style in a way, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. But nevertheless, with this, it's something special. And while I do prefer the standard, I think this feels more special and more limited, if you're not. Like, you couldn't switch them around.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, this is definitely something more higher quality and more for the limited version, something special.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say the one thing that kind of bothers me about the standard is the gap between Who and 60 years.
Okay.
Because like there's obviously when you got the diamond in the background, it makes sense for it to be there. But on the standard cover, you don't have that there. And so it just looks like there's an awkward gap between Doctor Who and then the 60 years bit there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it feels like its own thing.
Yeah. Like it feels
Like
like
it's not part of a logo.
Yeah. Feels like it could have just dragged it down slightly to just join them up a bit more. But it's a minor niggle with it. And it's also nice to see how well worked into the cover the logo is.
Yeah.
Because, you've got characters sort of cascading down the sides of it, as opposed to some of the earlier box sets we got this year, where you could tell that they were more made for the Whitaker era logo, but then had to be swapped over with the new logo. And so you had like a lot of blank space towards the bottom. Whereas now that space is being used much more. And I think it was a surprising choice of artist as well, because I thought this would be Soundsmith production on Twitter. It's Carrie something, but I can't remember her full name.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, but we've got cover art by Lee Johnson, surprising enough for this, who hadn't done a Big Finish cover before this until Harry Houdini's War.
That's a very good cover as well.
Yeah. He's done some wonderful covers, and these ones are gorgeous stuff. And I look forward to seeing what he's done with the rest of this series. But yeah, so it was a bit of a surprise to have someone for this big 60th who hasn't done one for a while. You sort of expect it to be one of their regulars getting brought into it, but no. I'm very happy with how these covers have turned out, and I think it's really turned around my hype for Once a Future.
Yeah.
Because at first it was like, okay, what is this? But now we know more about what's going on, how this is going to work. It's a Doctor per story by the looks of it. Probably with other cameos within there as he flicks through different faces before settling on, obviously for this first one, the Fourth Doctor. So yeah, I'm excited for Once a Future now.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you don't want to get too excited because you don't know much about it, but as we get drip fed more info, you can kind of get more and more on the hype train.
Yeah, I think now it's just a thing. Give me the next cover now.
Yeah,
we're never happy. We're never satisfied. We always want.
We're always hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is even more Fourth Doctor content coming. It's a big, first half of the year for him.
Yeah.
Because, how many discs worth of stuff is there? You got 4 discs with New Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 2 with the 8th of March. You've got this and the Dalek's Genesis of Terror coming out May. Would you say Dalek's Genesis of Terror counts as 1 or 2? Because
I guess it's a double.
Yeah, but the second one's like the interview with Philip Hinchcliffe, so it's not necessarily.
Maybe 1 then.
Yeah. So I suppose 2 in May, so that's 8. And then in June, you've got the Ark and 5 discs in. Oh, that was another thing. We got the title for the next Fourth Doctor box set, Angels and
yeah,
Demons.
we did. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like a very good box set.
Yeah, they snuck that along with that. So that's 7 discs coming in June. So that's 15 discs, 15 hours worth of the Fourth Doctor in the first half of this year alone.
Not complaining at all.
And then we got another one coming with Classic Doctor's New Monsters, Volume 4.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I mean, last year it was the year of Colin. This year is Tom, and so good.
Yeah. 2 years of Bakers.
2 years of Bakers. The Bakers dozen.
Yo ho lads. Yo ho lads. Says Mr. Monk Cactus. Hello, Mr. Monk Cactus. Thank you for joining us. Shall we get on to the First Doctor now?
Yes.
The main event.
The main event.
It's been an hour. Nearly.
It's been an hour. I guess it makes sense to dive into the main meat of the stream, really.
Imagine it's what most people have been waiting for.
Yeah.
First, Joe Bowers said, Sasha said in his talk, he hasn't been approached about recording his Master series after signing over a year ago. Yeah, I suppose they're still sorting things out there. They might have had to wait until after
Power
of the Doctor to work out what they were going to do there, just in case they came along with something that ended up contradicting it. Because certainly, from what we've heard, they were a bit more secretive with the Chris Chibnall and Whittaker era content.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Doctor Who magazine has been thriving a lot more, though, hasn't it? And
absolutely.
There was some discourse about that again. I mean, it feels like every cover Doctor Who magazine has Twitter has a bit of a meltdown over.
Because David Tennant, I love the man. He's the face of the show right now. Suck it up.
How dare Doctor Who magazine feature the Doctor, the current Doctor on the cover?
Yeah.
I mean, technically not bizarre. Current Doctor because it's 10 rather than 14, but you know. And I think also when you saw Russell T Davis's explanation as to why it was down to, this is what could have been a Radio Times cover.
Yeah.
But ultimately wasn't. So it feels like it's that time Sarah Jane Adventures almost was a Radio Times cover, finally gets to be a cover on something else. I think, did it? It never had any other Radio Times covers, did it, Sarah Jane Adventures?
No, I don't think it did.
I think David Tennant coming on was the main thing that possibly warranted that, but it didn't quite manage to get around to it. But I mean, it's a nice little cover.
It's a shame about K9, but I
like
it.
I mean, they full circled him, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. That's an explanation. It's fine.
It's not like he hasn't spent time without a head before. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think not. I mean, I can see the concern when it comes to like the gendered trend of it, though, with oftentimes there being more male prominence on covers than female prominence. But I mean, for the Chibnall era, there was only so much they were giving Doctor Who magazine, so they couldn't really stick the 13th Doctor on the cover all the time.
And the thing as well, it's got to correspond with what the content is inside the magazine. And if they haven't got 13th Doctor content to cover in the magazine, then sadly she's not going to make the cut.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the harsh reality of it is as well, David Tennant does sell. Because there was that first magazine that people were struggling to get a hold of, weren't they?
Yeah, it was kind of silly money.
Yeah. And I mean, in this time, selling a magazine isn't, a dirty thing to do, really. It's been hard during COVID, so they need to make their money from it in order to keep going. That's ultimately just the harsh reality of how it works, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that little tangent, First Doctor.
Yeah. Demon Song.
Wow. what did you make of this first? Because it's the Demon Song box set, and it's the
Mhm.
Demon Song and the Interesting Instant stories. So,
Yeah.
what did you make of the Demon Song story, not box set?
Yeah, so the second album, the tricky one, as Stephen Noonan said, and we were very excited about this box set because we're huge fans of the Outlaws, and we've said in the past that it's proof of concept, and I think that this builds on what the Outlaws did, because I think the Outlaws. I think when you're launching a new range, and especially when you've got recasts, again, we're big supporters of recasts here. This is why we talk about these releases, because we want to, put them on the spotlight and go check them out. They're amazing, and
they really carry on that legacy of the original actors.
Yeah, and the Big Finish does it with from a place of love and respect. And I think Stephen Noonan is the distillation of love and support of the character of the First Doctor. So the Outlaws as a box set almost feels like them sort of holding their breath, sort of waiting for the anticipation, for the response. And the Demon Song feels like an exhale, that it went down well. We can build on what the Outlaws did. And the Demon Song is the direction we wanted it to go down, because the Miniaturist was such a far departure from what we'd seen with the First Doctor. And I think the Demon Song is a tremendous two-parter. It feels very new series. It gave me sort of Lazarus Experiment towards the end with like the organ and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I can see that actually.
I had a lot of fun, and I think the story is so brilliant in setting everything up. Just having the First Doctor and Dodo in a post-pandemic Britain. The fact that the story mentions it is just incredibly wild, and having the First Doctor and Dodo in contemporary London and navigating around that, and the First Doctor, sort of getting out of the tube, and Dodo going, "You didn't pay for like shush, child."
It's a nice use of the ring, isn't it?
Yes.
Something that comes up in a few First Doctor stories, and then here he uses the ring to like cheat his way through the scanners at the
barriers,
for the underground,
and
now in Camden Town. It's a lovely little sequence at the start of just those two exploring our world with such wonder, like that same vigor and enthusiasm that they'd jump into the far future or the distant past with. It's funny seeing our world through that lens.
And I think that's what makes it so lovely, really,
It
as
gives
a
it a
story.
charm.
Yeah, I think both stories have very different charms, but both have oozing atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, we did go to near the present with the previous box set, The Outlaws, in the Miniaturist. That was set 2019, wasn't it, up in Yorkshire? Yeah. But it was sort of done in a way that it perhaps could have been done at the time. It's perhaps
how the 60s imagined it.
Yeah.
But like End of the World, wasn't it?
Yeah. Some things like mobile phones in there a little bit, but it wasn't showcase as much, whereas this is very much pointing fingers and saying, look at these things from our present time being reacted to by characters from the 1960s. And
I think that's a great way of
that.
I think that's a great way of reinventing the First Doctor and Dodo in a way of bringing them to us, and it opens them up to a new audience as such, really.
Yeah, that's true. It makes it more like almost a 21st century take on these characters.
I definitely get that with this two-parter.
Yeah. Almost them being a period piece within a modern setting.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is arguably the main joy of this, having them reacted to all that. Obviously, you've got a character live stream as well. We sort of did a little joking tribute to that at the very start of this stream, didn't we?
Daniel Diarf.
Well, yeah. The art. It says death.
But then he's got like a really sort of pathetic name.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now, sadly.
Yeah.
It was well amusing. Yeah, I mean, he's one of sort of the first Doctor's pseudo companions in this story, isn't
Yeah,
he? Along with who's Archie Powers? So
yeah.
what's that? Yeah, I'll just have a look at the cast list. Archie Power. There we go.
There we
It's
go.
about Pawar. Played by Babahishna Palmer. Is that how? Who also played Yaz's sister on TV, didn't she?
Oh, nice.
I believe that. Yeah, that is the same actress, isn't it? Yeah, it's because she was also in Time Jacked alongside Jacob
Okay.
Douglas,
There
12th
we go.
Doctor. Yeah. Yeah. What did you make of them as little one-off companions of this sort?
I think they were great because I think that's one thing what I like about this story is how the two strands sort of intertwine. That you have the first Doctor trying to find Dodo and get to the mystery of this demon song, whereas you have Dodo in the actual larder, as it were, with the siren.
Yeah, but both get to play active roles. It's not just
Yeah.
Dodo being a damsel in distress.
I genuinely think
hold her
this
own.
is Lauren Cornelius's best performance as Dodo. I think it gives
I'd be
Dodo
inclined to
so
agree.
much more to do.
Yeah. I think with something like the Outlaws, she's more of almost like in both the Outlaws and the Miniaturist. Actually, she has a naivety about her, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Which is
she
accurate.
blunders into things.
Yeah, which is accurate to how she was on TV, but it's almost played up a bit, particularly in the Outlaws, and so it's more that getting her into trouble. Whereas this, she gets to stand up for herself a lot more and be a very strong character in her own right. Same with the Inchton incident as well. I say, although she is a bit more maybe damsel in distress there, but nevertheless she does get to hold her own within.
I think there's agency to her in Incident.
Yeah. And likewise here as well, as she's trying to work out what's going on here and trying to help these people who have also been kidnapped.
I think that having the trailer for this story as well gives it that sort of cinematic edge to it. Because I wouldn't have pictured the story how it was in the trailer, but I think having that trailer really give it sort of a visual style.
Yeah. There's wonderful gothic elements, isn't there?
Yes, you definitely get that towards the end.
Yeah, and I mean, you even get the first Doctor pointing it out when he sees the church. He's like, very gothic.
Yeah, like just you wait until Hinchcliffe.
Yes, very gothic, very Hinchcliffe, I might say. Yes, indeed, Hinchcliffe.
Oh, it's
we'll leave it to
stuff.
Stephen. He does much better than us.
Yeah, absolutely. His job is safe. I just want to point this out: how eerily brilliant he is in this set.
I mean, he was wonderful in the Outlaws, and I think part of it is down to us growing more used to it as well.
Yeah.
Also, I did re-listen to the Outlaws and the Miniaturists around now. I did the Outlaws before this box set came out, listened to this box set, and then eventually got back round to the Miniaturists before we did this stream.
To get that intro.
Yeah, of course, because we missed it the first time.
Yeah, we thought it was a stylistic choice.
But yeah, I feel at the same time that Stephen has improved even more with this box set now. Because you could almost, I don't want to say you could hear the effort going into it, but I feel like here with the Demon Song, it feels even more effortless.
It's fluid.
Yeah. You just get lost in the character now. Yeah. And I imagine he's doing the same thing playing it.
Yeah, I think maybe because season 2 recently come out, having Cartnell's voice and performance in your mind there, I think made it probably become more, real, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
where you notice, okay, that's very Web Planet, or that's very Chase element of Hartnell's performance.
Yeah. I think we also look out a bit more now when we
Yes.
watch Hartnell, don't we? Thanks to Stephen Noonan's portrayal and
Mm.
things he said in interviews as well. We now look out for a bit more. And I think just the very idea that William Hartnell's performance, he is putting on a voice for it, isn't he?
And you
Like
get that with Demon Song and Instant, but again, two very different voices for the stories.
Yeah, he does. He's got quite a versatile voice, the First Doctor, and Stephen leans into that very well. There was one little bit of trivia that I noticed while listening to this, actually, a very geeky bit that I pointed out to you. When we go to Daniel Diart's apartment, he says, "Mind my space station, it has however many pieces it had in it." And my mind just went, that's an oddly specific number. I wonder. And so I looked up a Lego Star Wars Death Star, and it had the same amount of pieces. So Daniel Diart has a Death Star. The First Doctor has interacted with a Lego Death Star.
There we go.
That was something mad. I mean, you also had a Harry Potter reference in this, which is a bit more of a landmine.
Yeah.
It's all like, I mean, someone just says they look like they've come from Hogwarts when talking about the First Doctor.
Yes, yeah, with like the cloak and the little hat.
Yeah, it's Archie, actually, isn't it, who says that? But yeah, certainly that one sort of stings a little bit more than it should. But at the same time, I can understand it because it is, just how people in the modern world might talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not dive into that.
Should we talk about like the use of music for this story?
Go for it, because I mean, it's the Demon's song after all.
Yeah, and this is an audio, and I think that it utilizes sound to its advantage a lot.
I also, listening to the trailer, I was worried that the song itself was gonna get annoying. But actually, I didn't find that at all listening to the audio.
There is something quite hypnotic about it.
Have you found yourself whistling it yet?
Yeah.
You found yourself wandering around going, why am I by this church? What do I do here?
And then I'm like, Kaleidoscope, focus. No, get out.
Clears your mind.
Clears my mind, and I'm like, right, off I go. Strangely gothic. Why am I here? Anyway, moving on.
But it's nice how that is worked into the story.
It feels very original, early Big Finish, like Whispers of Terror. It's playing with the audio medium. I like that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I was sort of thrown off by was towards the conclusion of this story, there's a bit of a curveball thrown in as things go a bit wrong. And then you sort of have this awkward sequence where a lot of danger is meant to be going on, but it feels like characters are just standing around talking about it rather than being caught up in the action and trying to survive. I don't know if you had that same feeling towards the conclusion.
Yeah, I know what bit you're on about. For me, I think it was fine. So I was sort of imagining this sort of cosmic battle going on, really.
Yeah, that certainly felt a bit out of the blue. Yeah. I mean, there's some wonderful names within this as well, like the choir and the Discord.
Yeah, and like the harmony and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I like how it sort of teeters on sort of folklore and mythology. I'm a big fan when stories do that.
Yeah, I can't remember quite what religion it is, but there's something that creature was reminded Archie of, wasn't there? Was it Buddhism or Islam?
I mean, Buddhism would be quite fitting with Barry Letts in a way.
But yeah, Buddhism doesn't necessarily have demons, does it? So it might be Islam that they reference. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it was in the story, but nevertheless, Demon Song brilliant start to this box set. I had a lot of fun with it. And I think,
Great flavour of Doctor Who.
it feels fitting for the 60th anniversary to bring the First Doctor into our modern world.
Yeah.
And just sort of highlight how much times have changed in 60 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have that wonderful line about everyone carrying around those little televisions from Dode.
Yeah, that's very sweet and quite wholesome, really.
Yeah, I like this story. It's certainly, at the start, it's got a nice charm to it with them interacting with the modern world.
It lures you in, doesn't it? And then it sort of snatches you by going, haha, there's a creepy song.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
You're going to get mesmerized.
It's very well paced as a two-parter as well.
Yeah. It builds up nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's something special.
Yeah.
Something very different. And I mean, obviously, something you couldn't do with the First Doctor on TV at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, shall we talk about Inchton now?
Yes, I think we can.
Yes, maybe.
Yes. Do you want to go first for this one? Since I went first for Demon Song.
Okay. I mean, I was very hyped for this one. We certainly spoke about it a lot on streams before. It felt like our kind of Doctor Who, didn't it?
Yeah, our bread and butter.
With it being this almost Quatermassy feel to it, going into the 40s, just post-war. Very Nick Briggs as well, with it being seaside town post-war and everything. I mean, I feel like there's obviously a but coming here in the way I'm building this up. I feel like it didn't quite live up to my expectations. And maybe I put too much into it going in.
Okay.
But at the same time, I did still have a great time with this throughout. It's more towards part 4, I think, when everything's revealed, that I was like, I see where this is now. And it just sort of goes on a bit at the end. But on the build up to that, you have some brilliant characters. One of which is Virginia Hancock, who gets to spend a lot of time with the First Doctor. She is an American spy. And I really enjoyed her interactions with Stephen Noonan as the First Doctor. There was a lot of fun to be had there with those two.
There's a lot of locking of horns, and I think that's when you get the great First Doctor sort of little outburst. You wouldn't believe the stuff I say, because she just disregards everything he says. Even though he's telling the truth.
She's very much a say it as it is kind of girl, isn't she?
Yeah.
I think it wonderfully goes up against the First Doctor's more classical mannerisms, I suppose.
Yeah, I think this is the more traditional. Yeah, this is the traditional story.
Yeah, certainly that's challenged by the presence of Virginia. And also, I think one other wonderful thing about this is, this post-war setting, it could have been a very male-dominated story, like a lot of stories were in the 60s, even 70s and 80s, really. And I mean, certainly during the 50s, when you look back at the old Quatermass stories, they're brilliant, but there's usually about 1 or 2 female characters throughout. This is a very strong story for women, I'd say. Like, you've obviously got Virginia in there as well, but also you have your main villain, Sanderson, too. And who was the other one? Dr. Lisa Halloran, played by Rosie Baker, Colin Baker's daughter. So, yeah, and certainly with along with Lauren Cornelius, you've got 4 very strong female characters within this story, which is wonderful, and a wonderful twist on what could have been from this type of story.
Yeah.
Because I think with the idea of this spaceship crashing down and sort of sinking into the town itself, I was sort of picturing more Quatermass and the Pit style story. But actually, it's more Quatermass 2 with the mind control element of it and such as they go into in the extras of the story. And Stephen Noonan even mentions that perhaps Inchton is a reference to Winnerton from Quatermass 2. And I mean, it's probably the least well regarded of the Quatermass serials. I'm not sure how familiar you are with those.
This is I've not really explored Quatermass.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
It's something I'd recommend because
I'll put it on the list.
I mean, you know, about how, what was his name? The Doctor produced Derek Sherwin.
Yeah.
Said how he very much was inspired by Quatermass to bring the Doctor back down to Earth. So you sort of, it's interesting seeing where that inspiration comes from with this, and you certainly have that inspiration a lot throughout Doctor Who, like Quatermass and the Pit, with this whole idea of the aliens influencing our image of the devil throughout history is something that's Doctor Who has called on with the demons and the image of the Fendal as well, like, you know, human evolution and such. And so having a story that instead leans more into Quatermass 2, where, you know, there's a lot more paranoia. Oh, it's also the inspiration for Torchwood Soho.
Yeah,
like each one of those box sets is very much inspired by each of the Quatermass serials. But yeah, nevertheless, it's one I do quite enjoy, the second one, even though it's less well regarded. I think it's often slept on, that one, and it gets into the paranoia very well. But yeah, I think maybe that's something where this story doesn't quite play into the paranoia as much. Maybe just down to how it's paced and how the characters are used within it. There's not much you can do with that. Because even though it's sort of Inchton itself as a seaside town, you don't spend much time within Inchton.
Yeah.
But what do you think of this story as a whole?
I think I probably enjoyed it more than you, but I guess it'd be interesting when we rate it, where we place it, really. I really like the atmosphere and the sort of vibe I get off it, because it feels very War Machines meets Pertwee's era, and you're kind of waiting for the military to be called Unit. And I think if it was Unit, you'd be like, oh, this is great. I think that it's just wonderfully authentic, because you can really picture it. It's got some great sort of set pieces, especially in episode 2, when you sort of got that sort of stakeout gun shooting thing, really, with like Virginia and the Doctor and Dodo sort of stuck in that sort of crossfire. It feels very sort of season 7, and there's a grittiness to it when you have sort of the soldier showing like all the graves of like the 137 people. And it's a story that is out there to sort of confuse you. It's a story that you sort of have to pay attention, because like there's a lot of switching and flipping, because there's this whole story is this big mystery, and I think the setting of sort of a Britain rebuilding itself, trying to find alternative power solutions, I think is quite genius.
I like how that was worked in.
And I
like
think
what it has to say as a story.
Yeah, I think as well, this story opens up a bit more creativity for Stephen, with like the little ad libs, really, because you get like Flora, you know, stuff like that. You can see that there's nice sort of it gets the creative juices flowing for Stephen to go, I want to put these little things in.
Yeah. It starts off rather Web of Fear, doesn't it?
Yes,
the TARDIS being clung onto in space, and then whatever has clung onto them has followed them to Inchton in this case, rather than London.
And I really like that sort of sequence in the TARDIS, because it just feels wonderfully 60s Doctor Who, doesn't it, really? You know, the TARDIS malfunctioned again, you know, it's wonderfully on brand.
Yeah, you can imagine a smoke machine starting up and saying you can rush out the TARDIS.
Yeah, it's great, really great stuff.
And I suppose as well, with being set by the seaside, it sort of gives that smuggler's vibe of a location shoot.
And you can imagine sort of the First Doctor just about to get mowed down by Virginia on a bike.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite a brutal story in some cases. Like the
Yeah.
First Doctor there with his head wrapping on the cover is something that actually features in the instance. He has
Yeah.
to wrap his head up after a bullet grazes his skull a bit there, doesn't it?
And
And
it has a
Dodo goes
grittiness.
through the walls as well.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. Nearly drowns, shot at, yeah.
It's quite... Yeah, it's probably the darkest of this wave of First Doctor adventures so far.
Yeah. But I think that gives the story a nice sort of edge to it. And it makes you question this mystery because you've got that sort of almost like heartbeat throbbing sound, haven't you?
Yeah.
Throughout the story, which really aids the atmosphere to it and just makes you kind of feel a bit unsettled by it all.
I think maybe that's where one of my problems lies, is that in terms of a mystery, it seems quite easy to work out what's going on. Like, because we're obviously given more than just the First Doctor side of it.
Yeah.
We are seeing Sanderson and the captain, or what's his position? I can't remember. Captain John Andrews, there we go. We're getting his side of the story as well. And so with that, there isn't really much of a mystery, I'd say. And even with another certain character who comes along a bit later, I instantly guessed what was going on there. That almost felt a twist that was too obviously broadcasted. Yeah. But I think so. I started off my opinion quite negatively of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad story by any means.
Oh no, it's a nice, strong, solid adventure, really.
Yeah, no, it certainly has its creepy elements to it as well. But on the whole, maybe it just felt like a bit too much hanging around. Even I was enjoying the interactions while that was happening between the characters, because it is a wonderful set of characters, great dialogue between them. But it
feels
just
very of the era as well,
Hmm.
of like the dialogue used for like this post-war Britain.
Yeah. But at the same time, it felt like, you know, when you look at what happens in each episode, not much progresses really. And then when you get to the final episode, it's very much hanging around, waiting for it to wrap up. I think that's where my main issue lies with this, is in part 4, in how that ending is executed. What did you think of the ending of this one, without spoiling too much?
I get what you mean, that you feel like the story's wrapped up, but it's got a bit of a chunk of runtime left. I get that. But again, you're enjoying the characters as well. But yeah, you're kind of ready to say wrap things up, aren't you, really?
Yeah, it's hard to say why without going into spoilers on this one. But yeah, certainly it's one of those endings that just feels a bit awkwardly executed. But yeah, on the whole, I did enjoy the ride of this one.
Yeah, it's a good ride.
It was fun seeing the First Doctor within this environment, and maybe I did just go in with the wrong expectations of it, and so it is one I will go back to again at some point. See.
I guess because like the Annihilators was a story we both thought was, you know, an amazing thing. So we were thinking, you know, Nick's
we're getting the same
put
again.
Yeah, and it does link to the Annihilators, which is nice.
Funnily enough, yeah, that was a surprise.
But it's still a very strong story.
Mm.
Still enjoyable.
Yeah, a good box set on the whole.
I think that it's a box set that's allowed to breathe more, I feel.
Mm.
And you can see the direction we're going down now, and I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
invested in this range, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, same here. Look forward to Volume 3, which means sadly we'll probably have to wait about a year for, but
I know, yeah, it's a shame.
we did also have a cliffhanger.
We did
A
indeed.
very different kind of cliffhanger, but I don't know how much we dare say about that just yet.
I guess we can cover it when we do like a top 5 of the year.
Yeah, give this one a bit more time for people to dive into. But yeah, certainly worth picking up if you're on the fence about Demon's Song.
I mean, just check out both box sets, to be honest, because they both have something different on the table, but both equally brilliant.
Yeah, it's nice how much variety there is across these 4 stories. I think it's interesting that it is going very different from the Bradley stuff though, because that was usually, your typical story set in the future and then a pure historical. With this, we've had neither of those yet.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 pseudo-historicals, 2 very different pseudo-historicals, and then 2 very different, more or less present-day stories.
Yeah.
Which do some very different things for the First Doctor.
Which I think's great, though, because, like, season 3, it's, again, untapped territory. We can explore these things, and Big Finish can put their own stamp on it, and I think that these 4 stories do that.
Yeah, I think it's fitting that even though the War Machines hasn't come around just yet in timeline wise, this leans into it because it is the very next story, really. And so for the interesting incident to have, the army in it and to have that almost interesting incident, that almost War Machines feel makes sense.
Yeah, it almost feels a bit like Android Invasion as well. I got with Inchiton.
Oh, what parts?
It's just like the setting up of it all, really. This sort of little town village.
Yeah, maybe that's partly what I was missing. Maybe it could have had a bit more like wandering around the village going, why is it so deserted? But again, I guess if there's something crashed into it, you wouldn't quite do that as much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, great mystery of like, wait, there's no houses, but there's smoke, great stuff like that.
Yeah. Shall we load up the tier list?
Yeah, we'll load up the tier list and then we'll have a look at the chat and then we shall bid good night.
Miss Book says, sorry, I'm not talking. Lads, do some farming on Minecraft. Daniel Hager, the 5th Doctor, says, please, Big Finish, can you tell us about the 4th Doctor relaunch soon as we've not got there yet? It's all. I feel like that's just going to be a more natural work into it eventually, rather than there being an obvious turning point. So it looks like we're leaning more into it next year, though, with it being the 3-disc sets rather than 4 or 5-disc ones.
Yeah.
And here we are with our tier list. This is, when did we do this? Over a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's 2021, maybe. I don't know.
It was sometime towards the end of 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had our top slot, a story worthy of the First Doctor, the original, you might say, which we stuck Great White Hurricane, Return to Skaro, Last of the Romanovs, and Hollow Crown in. So it's was a good run, wasn't it, the Bradley stuff?
Yeah, good run. Yes.
I mean, both episodes of Volume 4 made it into the top tier. You did quite well. Quite well. It's the second tier, and that has The Invention of Death and The Barbarians and the Samurai in. All of Volume 2, actually, there.
Yeah.
One day I shall re-listen. Yes, I shall re-listen for the glory of Earth. I still haven't re-listened, to be honest. But one day.
One day.
It took the Doctor long enough to get back to Susan, so we're allowed a bit of breathing room. I'm not ready. Of course, line from Adventure in Space and Time there with the Phoenicians and TikTok World, all of Volume 3 slotted in there. So, aren't all audio dramas made of glass? The Twice Upon a Time, of course. Nothing made it into that slot, but we did stick right at the very bottom, in need of a jolly good snack bottom, is the Destination Wars. And looking back at that, I think I stand by our decisions there.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything what stands out where I want to change it.
Yeah. So shall we see how much we agree on the Stephen Noonan stuff? So the Outlaws first. I did re-listen to this one, as I said, and I did have a very good time with it. I think still
go on.
A lot of my same flaws remain in how it feels a bit directionless plot-wise. Looks at it. With the monks side of the plot being wrapped up very quickly about the end of part 3, and then you're just sort of hanging around in part 4 still. But I think there's something, it's wonderful just spending time in this period of history, this world, and with these characters. And it's a very sharp script as well. There's a lot of fun to be had in this one. And it's, as we say, it's the most authentic of these 4.
Yeah.
So yes, and you can see why they chose this one to start with.
It's a nice sort of breaker into the world, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And it's riffing off of the Time Meddler a lot as well.
I think that's why I really like it, because I think that's Time Meddler is my favourite Hartnell story.
Yeah, I think that certainly goes in its favour here.
I think for me, I didn't want it to end. It was normally I listen to one episode and then I go to sleep. But with the Outlaws, I was like, I just want to carry on,
Wow. I mean, I'm kind of the opposite by part 4. I was like, can we get back to the TARDIS now?
Okay.
I thought we wrapped up. Hasn't the plot wrapped up now? But even then, I'm still loving the time being spent with these characters. And I think it's wonderful the way the monk and the doctor play off each other, especially with the doctor's irritability towards that. I mean, we said at the time how brilliant Stephen Noonan is, especially when he gets into those outbursts. And you can hear the First Doctor even more in those moments. Where would you want to put this one?
I'd want to put it top tier, to be honest, because I really like it a lot.
I'd probably lean more. You did quite well, but
okay.
I'll let you go top tier.
I just think because it's the most authentic the range has gone, and I think that it's up there with the Bradley historicals. For me,
I do hope we get a more traditional, just a pure historical, really, for Stephen Noonan's Doctor. I'm not sure if we'll get that with the 3rd set, but hopefully sometime soon.
I mean, I have been listening to the great Farewell Great Macedon.
Yeah.
So
it's a 6-parter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a 6-parter, chunky 6-parter as well. Very, very good. I'd like a story of that ilk for Stephen Noonan and Lauren Cornelius.
Yes, I mean, it looks like we'll be getting a 6-parter at some point, doesn't it? I think that's been teased.
Daleks, please.
Yeah, hopefully so. But nonetheless, the next one, the Miniaturist now. I think this is your favourite of them, isn't it? Is it still?
Yeah, I think the Miniaturist is still my favourite of the bunch, but I'll say this now, Demon Song's very close.
I mean, I think for me, my favourite would be the Outlaws.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then I'd go Demon Song, then Miniaturist, then the Interesting Incident. But yeah, certainly Interesting Incident isn't going down low on this tier list. I think I'm still going to rank that quite highly. But yeah, for me, the Miniaturist it's a very unnerving one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why I love the creepiness of it. Just like the kid with like no eyes. Oh, it like horror using children is just terrifying.
I mean, it's a shame that you don't really get as much children voice in this. It's more what's the actress's name? Who plays the Miniaturist?
Oh, Annette Badland?
Yeah, Annette Badland, there you go. It's usually her voice, and then characters seem to mistake it for the voice of a child.
Yeah.
But that's just the way the miniaturist works as a character, a being of sort. I think I like the nature of her as a villain, if you can even call her that. Yeah.
But I think there's something quite nice. It fits like the Celestial Toy Maker feel, doesn't it? With that sort of
very
entity.
powerful being.
Yeah, like godlike, eternal type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, able to play with reality at will.
But it plays with like the vulnerability of the First Doctor as well, which I like.
Also like the science side of the story as well, when you're down in the
mine.
Yeah, the Zechstein mine.
That feels very wonderfully sci-fi.
Yeah, in the quiet area as well. But there's something quite intriguing about that as a place. And you can see why the writer's imagination was fired for this one and came up with some creative things as a result. Yeah, overall, I'd want to go. You did quite well on this one, but I imagine you want to go top tier again.
Yeah, because I really like it. There we go.
Yeah. And now we come to the Demon Song.
I guess we can bash these ones out pretty quick because we've just spent review sheets.
Yeah, we have just mostly talked about. Where would you want to stick the Demon Song?
I'd say again, it's up there for me, just because of the wonderful world building, the atmosphere. There's a nice charm to Demon Song.
Yeah, I mean certainly, I prefer it to the Miniaturist. I'd say the Miniaturist is top spot. Yeah. I sort of have to argue top spot, I suppose.
Yeah. I've taken control. I mean, I have the power anyway because I've got the mouse. Here. Literally.
And now, Interesting Incident, I'd say one day I shall re-listen. Because that is certainly something I want to do. I want to get back to this one and see if it can click more on the second go.
I think it definitely will benefit from re-listens, I think.
I mean, it did happen with Kaleidoscope, so
yeah,
we shall see.
But yeah, that's how the Stephen Noonan First Doctor stories look compared to the Bradley ones so far.
Yeah, it's off to a wonderful start, this range.
Oh, I think that it's slowly becoming my favourite range at the minute.
Oh, wow. Strong stuff, indeed.
It is strong. Because I think the Third Doctor's got the legwork done, whereas this range it's got the legwork there. It's just building and building more now.
It's like, where do we go next?
Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing with the First Doctor, because it is very much carving a whole new aspect to that era.
Yeah, and certainly there are some exciting possibilities based off the end of the Interesting Incident. But any last things to say about First Doctor Adventures?
Buy them. They're great.
Yeah, they're brilliant stuff, really.
Yeah. If you're on the fence about these box sets, just try it.
Yeah. I think as well, when it comes to a recast performance, you can't really accurately judge it based off just a clip or a trailer. I think you really have to get into the flow of the story to see how well they work as a recast, as a performance. Because it ultimately is that. It's not trying to be an impression. It's trying to sound reasonably like them. But, it's not just a tone for tone recreation of that original performance. It's got to bring some of its own in it as well, because it needs to be a performance within its own right. And I think both Lauren Cornelius and Stephen Noonan managed to do that.
Yeah, I think that's all we can really say about it. Check them out. They're great. We've got a video what will cover more First Doctor stuff coming soon.
Yeah, we've got big plans for the channel, haven't we?
We've got plans. We've got ideas moving forward.
I feel like we've been teasing it for a while, but we've been slightly recovering from the regeneration marathon,
Yeah.
and also just getting around to listening to / watching the things we need to so that we can make these videos.
Yeah, do these streams. But yeah.
And then along with that, you have loads of new content coming out for Big Finish. Like, I've got to catch up with that now.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall behind, and I think February feels like it is the start of the year for Big Finish. Like January was good, but I think February seems like this is when the Doctor Who stuff kicks in. You know.
I'm still waiting for a lot of things to come in the post. Like Demon Song itself hasn't dispatched yet. Neither has Return of Joe Jones or Fourth Doctor New Frontiers. I wonder if they'll all turn up together.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. It'd be a big box going, what's this? And you're like, oh yeah, of course it's those.
Yeah, it's funny if because we're now 3 releases into the 2023 relaunch content. Or is it just, I suppose it's the classic Doctor stuff. That's what the bundle calls it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet we've still not got any of them physically yet. I mean, you got All Time and Space, didn't you? That came pretty quick.
I've got that. That was the last Big Finish to arrive for me.
Joe Bauer says, hopefully we'll get some first Doctor stories with Susan, Vicky, and Stephen at some point. Yeah, I hope so. I hope we expand out into other eras of the first Doctor's life.
It's all exciting where things are going a bit. So
yeah.
Just imagine.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, speaking of catching up with things, I did get back to Unit Brave New World recently.
Oh yeah, you did say.
Yeah, another creepy story by Lizzie Hopley in Haunt, the middle story of that set. I've still not got round to the final one yet, but that was a brilliant episode. My favorite of the Unit Brave New World stuff. Maybe my favorite unit overall. It was really creepy, definitely pushing the boundaries of what you could probably get away with this stuff. Apparently, they did have to tone some of it back, sadly, to meet BBC approval.
Okay,
which is almost a shame because you want it to go even further. But
20 years ago, they probably would have gone all out.
But yeah, it was a creepy one. Listen to it late at night as well, so
it's different.
Yeah, it does. Wonderful stuff with Bambera being like more of a skeptic when it comes to these sort of things.
Which fits her character very well.
Fits her character, and so that plays nicely into this because it's mainly a Bambera and Rick story. Like Savarine gets a little cameo, but he's not really part of the action. Okay. And so it's more just these two on a stake out of an old hotel where there's a lot of just creepy, unnerving details throughout the story as they learn about the history of the hotel and such. They go around talking to different people. It was brilliant. I had a really good time with Haunt. It's one of those stories that stays on your mind afterwards as well.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah. I mean, I think other than Diary of a Song, A Friend of the Family, it's my favourite thing I've listened to this year.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not going to show on the tier list when we get to the end of the year because it came out last year.
Yeah.
It was a December release, which I didn't get around to at times, so I didn't get to praise it on last year's tier list, and not going to get to on this year's either. But nevertheless,
we'll have to do a Bambera one. We'll have to do a Bambera.
Yeah,
special.
Maybe a unit stream as a whole.
After talk about the unit
wraps up. But, yeah, that's probably the last big tier list we haven't done.
Yeah, we haven't done unit.
Yeah, well, 11 now. Unit new series box sets to tier list.
And then you've got Unit Dominion, and then you've got like the first 4 unit stories, and then like the Keep. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. Do you have any of those ones? The original.
I've got the original unit stuff.
I think they redid it as a bundle as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Much like what they've done with Exodus as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, think that's pretty much us done for tonight, isn't it? Really, we've covered the
Yeah, I'd
first
say.
Doctor, talked about news.
Indeed.
We've done it
Yeah,
all.
lots of exciting news as well.
Lots of exciting news to talk about, and I'm sure, hopefully, this week will be the same, so we can gush over all the exciting news we've got to look forward to and products to put on our ear holes and go, good stories.
Yeah. We love stories. Big Finish
We
aren't
do.
using that tagline anymore, so we can steal it.
There we go. We're TMI. There we go.
Oh, there we have it.
So yeah, thank you for everyone for joining us. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you for people watching on catch up. We appreciate you taking your time out of your day to listening to us waffle about Big Finish Doctor Who.
Indeed. And if you want to listen to us waffle even more, we'll be back on Friday to talk all things action figures. Yeah. General chat about all different kinds of action figures. So it should be a fun one.
Yeah, a very different one.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, we'll see you then. I guess around 7 o'clock.
Depending on technical issues and
yeah,
they always need to play, I guess.
But we'll be there. We'll be there to talk about Doctor Who figures, and of course, if you want to stay updated when we're streaming, check out the community tab or follow me on Twitter or Luke, where you can see the full post of what we've got planned.
And I'm sure we'll do another one in April as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. It seems like a
not
good thing to do.
Anytime soon. These streams are very regular at this point.
We've got plenty of ideas. We've not missed one yet so far for the year, so we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well.
So yeah, there we go. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you for talking about Doctor Who action figures.
Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Bye-bye.